name's Rachel Baker, and I am a Arts Council employee, and I support work related to electronic and digital media. I was a digital artist myself in former times, and one of the areas that I was active in was Netaudio. So when Backspace was still around, there was quite an active kind of audio streaming experimentation going on there. So you'd have maybe Backspace involved in sending a stream, and then somewhere in Latvia, eLab might pick it up and then relay it onto somewhere in Austria or something along those lines. And the thing that you were conscious of was that there wasn't really an audience. Mm-hmm. It was a very kind of quite a closed, intimate configuration of people. And the qualities that were interesting were the intimacy and the liveness. Mm-hmm. Sort of the fact that it was remote and live and intimate were all very exciting. Yeah, I think when we were experimenting in the late 90s, so for example on Irrational, we created this the World Service Scheduler. So there's lots of scheduling softwares being built. So you had the frequency clock that Honor Hager and Adam Hyde designed, and I think that was both audio and video. So it was all about people being able to upload video and audio content and schedule this into the scheduler. And I mean, this was really pioneering stuff. It was late 90s, and the World Service Scheduler that Heath programmed, Heath Bunting, was much more sort of radio. It was much more about audio. We didn't really deal with video. And it was also a piece of software that was built very much in connection to an actual radio station, which was installed at the Banff Media Centre, the Banff Arts Centre in Canada. So there was a radio station, and I mean a lot of the content was coming through the radio station, and also I think Heath was picking up as much as he could from the internet, particularly kind of pirate radio. There wasn't a huge amount of pirate radio on the internet at that point. But it was very much about kind of grabbing bits of audio where we could and scheduling it in, whether we had permission or not. Mm-hmm. And I think, so the radio station was called Radio 90, and there was a very specific community around that radio station in Banff, and a specific group of people. And again, it was sort of back to this issue about how I think it was more important. The social network was probably more important than the content. It was as if there was enough. I mean, the content was always ubiquitous. There's always content, and there's lots of questions about how that content is curated and selected. And I at one point I produced a zine called TM Selector, which was meant to be an insert that would go in magazines like Mute, or other kind of net culture magazines. And the idea was it would be a kind of directory of selected audio streams in the early days of net radio, as it was, with a kind of little review to encourage people to pick up the streams and really sort of try to promote and build a culture of net audio and net streaming. Before all the social media things like Facebook, etc., came along, people people were building their own social media. So micromusic.net is an example of that. Pre Friendster, pre Facebook, it was a place where you could subscribe, become a member, and I think you still can subscribe and become a member, and swap audio files with people. And it was all about 8-bit music and computer game music, and and there would be rankings, there would be recommendations, and it would be a place to go and hang out online and swap music files, and meet people who you wanted to be with. And then even before Micromusic, there was Orang, ORANG, which was that was a sort of function in a similar way, and that was sort of 1998, 99. Very early example of an online community, a software that was built to build a community around playlists and favorite music, and scheduling music. And I guess so. Last FM is the breakthrough kind of audio social media project.